He's a little bland. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So, you know how sometimes, maybe I'm the only one that does this, do you ever, when there's like a weird lull in like the doll releases, do you ever go into eBay and then look at all the doll releases that you missed previously and then think about how you could own those doll releases if you were willing to pay like way more money than they're probably worth? This dude, this dude right here, this King Ocean Ken doll. I've seen people talk about this doll. I'm gonna hold up this little write-up if you want to read that. I've seen people talk about this doll. I have thoughts about him. I've already taken a little bit of a look at him, so let me get him out here. So this is the art. This is the art for the doll. This was a release, a collector release that was from, I think this was like early 2022. It might have been the end of 2021. It all kind of blurs together, but I remember missing him. Like I remember he came out and I guess I just didn't notice. Sometimes I don't always pay that much attention to what's happening in the doll world. Like I'll go like a couple months without looking at stuff and then, you know, I'll miss stuff and then I'm upset about it. But this one was one that I missed, but then I didn't really regret it because I remember seeing a lot of people talk about him. So I was like, oh, you know, maybe I dodged a bullet because he was $100 retail. But I was scouring eBay auctions recently and he came up and honestly, he was still about retail price. Like I didn't pay all of these dolls that I'm going to look at. I got good deals on them. Like honestly, they were all pretty good deals. I didn't pay much more than retail for any of them. So I didn't feel too bad shelling out around retail price for this guy. But I will say, I understand people's critiques about him. He's a little bland. so he's very cute. I'm a big fan of Ken. He's a kind of a gay icon. I mean, you know, he's kind of a gay icon. So I was kind of excited to see that there was a mermaid Ken, but I do think that he was kind of a missed opportunity. And I think that he was received really poorly for good reason, because this doll retailed at $100. So for $100 doll, that's basically almost completely naked with just like a couple pieces of jewelry and then this mermaid tail, which to be completely honest, it's not like much better than your standard mermaid tail. I mean, it's very pretty. It's very shiny and glossy. The scales feel cool, I guess. And it's these little pieces. It's fine. The box is also like not very exciting, which I kind of get. I mean, with Barbie, they go back and forth. I feel like sometimes they'll give us these like super bland like shoe boxes. And then other times they give us these like crazy dioramas and stuff. And there's no real like rhyme or reason to it. It just kind of depends on the collection and I guess the designer maybe. But overall, like I don't hate him. He's got these little fin things. He's got these little shoulder pieces. Ken is a doll line that I feel like never gets enough love, but also I kind of get it because he's not always very good. So it's kind of like, it's a catch-22 where it's like the dolls they design for him are kind of like throwaway dolls, it feels like, because he's not like their main focus. They're more interested in Barbie. And then because of that, nobody really wants to buy them. And then they price him at like $100. And it just feels kind of like a missed opportunity because I like boy dolls. Personally, my favorite boy dolls that are like being released right now are the Barbie looks Ken dolls. And let me actually grab one. So I will say, this Ken doll, by the way, so this is one of the Barbie looks Ken dolls. He is in a rainbow high outfit right now, so ignore that. He doesn't come with these clothes. But just like looking at these two dolls back to back, I mean, this is what, like a $20 to $30 doll, and this is like a $100 doll. And I mean, yes, he's in an outfit that he wouldn't come with. The basic outfit that the looks dolls come with are like very basic, super duper basic. But still, I mean, like the doll, is it not the same? Like the face molds are very similar. The face screenings are very similar. There's just not a lot to elevate this doll to $100 when you can get a Ken doll like this for like 20 or 30 bucks and then just redress him, you know? Like I could probably take any like random mermaid tail from an old mermaid Barbie, or honestly, this isn't hard to make. If you're even slightly crafty, you could make a mermaid tail like this probably like in a couple minutes. So this isn't really that spectacular. There's not really any details on it that are crazy nice. There is a little bit of like decorative stitching on the bottom of the tail, but let me tell you where I think they went wrong. Honestly, this is my true feelings about where this doll really falls flat. And it's if you look at the concept art, there's a couple things, there's a couple major differences. Difference number one, they completely shortened his tail, which I'm sure was probably like a budgeting issue, but this Ken is so like stumpy and that's fine, but like when you're pitching this kind of art, clearly in this art his feet were like right there and then this whole tail was like the extension. But in the actual doll, his feet are like down here, I think, somewhere like there. So it completely like shortens the entire doll, makes him way less dramatic. And then also there's a couple other features that are kind of lame. Like for instance, they drew all these scales in his arms with the fins, and then instead we got, what the f is that? It's like a shimmery mesh with just some like a little bit of blue fabric attached. I've heard people say that they lightened his skin tone. I don't know. For on mine though, I mean maybe mine's different, but I feel like his skin tone's not too different from the art, at least from what I'm seeing. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, there's a lot of other details as well. So another thing I want to kind of go over is like all of these like metal-y looking pieces. They're all just like cheap plastic. They're all cheap plastic, and I just feel like for a doll like this, where he's basically naked, right? Like, where's the budget going? Like, he has a tail, which they shortened already. Like, they could have made this tail as long as it was supposed to be, but they shortened the shit out of it. And then also, these little plastic pieces are just, like, plastic. Like, that could have easily been metal, right? I mean, like, I don't know if Mattel has the facilities to do such a thing, but, I mean, I also collect Integrity Toys dolls, which, granted, are more than $100. Those usually go around, like, $150, $160. But if this was an Integrity Toys doll, this would all be metal. 100%. Especially a doll this naked, they would have definitely made that all metal. It would have been more money, but he probably would have come with accessories. He probably would have come with a cape. Like, I kind of just wanted more. Like, even a cape would have been nice. Something else. He's basically just like a naked dude with a tail. It's just kind of disappointing, but I do like it. And so it's kind of a difficult situation because I feel like as a Ken doll collector specifically, and this kind of is true for Barbie as well, but as a Ken doll collector specifically, you don't have a lot of options. If you want to collect Ken, you've got Playline, and then you've got like the one collector Ken doll they do like every other year. So it's kind of difficult. But I did want him. I had wanted him for a while. I also don't have a lot of mermaid dolls. I think he is my only collector edition of any mermaid doll. I'm not seeing any. I mean, I don't count Ariel because I don't have any of the mermaid Ariels. All the Ariels I have they have legs, so. But yeah, he's my only merman, I guess, technically. Also, his hair. Did they shorten it? Yeah, they did. Once again, his hair kind of like comes down to his butt. And then here, it's like, it kind of comes down to like the lower back. It's not the biggest deal, but also I kind of wish they had styled his hair a little nicer. You know what I mean? It's like, where does the $100 go in here? Because I'm not really seeing it. Like, he doesn't have like a nice hairstyle. He doesn't have a shirt. He doesn't have anything on his upper body except for this little armor. I don't know. I think people were really hard on this doll, but I also completely understand. I think $100 is an outrageous price for this doll, and yet I still paid a little bit more than that because I really wanted him. But I just wanted to kind of go over him really quickly because I recently bought a bunch of things on eBay, and he was one of them. So if you're thinking about buying him, I don't know. I'm not mad about it, but I also like Ken a lot. If you're not like a big diehard fan of Ken dolls, then you're not going to care. You're like, this is a waste of your money, honestly. But if you are like a big Ken doll collector, you'll probably appreciate him. I could kind of do without him, but I'm glad I have him. I don't know. I'm going back and forth. I like him, but I still was disappointed. Even after watching a bunch of people review him poorly, I still managed to disappoint myself by buying this doll. So if that means anything to you, honestly, if you're interested in Ken dolls, just buy one of these. These are cheaper. They're cheaper, and they're coming out with new ones. They're coming out with new ones very soon. I think next month. We're getting a really buff one. I can't wait for the really buff looks doll. And there's going to be another one who also was cute. I can't remember what he looked like as much though. I just remember seeing somebody review the really buff Ken doll, and I was like, yeah, I want him. I mean, I think I have all of the Barbie looks Ken dolls, so I'll probably buy them all again. There's only 2. There's never a lot of Ken dolls. If you're a Ken doll collector, you could be a Ken doll completionist so easy because they do like 1 per decade. So anyway, here he is. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe if you do like this kind of videos, and I'll be doing a lot more doll videos very soon. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.